Hola a todos, bienvenidos. Mi nombre es Juani. How to make comparisons between things in Spanish that are not equal or not the same. First of all, why do you think this is important? The reason it's important is because in everyday conversation in Spanish, it's very common and also very useful to be able to express comparisons between two different things, just like it is in English. Por ejemplo, este apartamento es más pequeño que el anterior. Mi amigo es más fuerte que yo. Mi hermano es más inteligente que yo. Great, now what we're going to do is break this all down for you so that you can easily understand how to make these comparisons and therefore feel a lot more confident adding these into your Spanish conversations. Now, to explain this better, what we're going to do is look at the formula. So if you look at the formula, we first use más or menos, so more or less. We then use the adjective or the noun that we want to use. We then use que, which basically translates in this situation to then. And then we finish off the sentence or finish off what we're making the comparison to. Now that we know what the formula is, let's use an example to put it all into practice. So, the first example, Pablo es más inteligente que su hermana. Pablo es más inteligente que su hermana. Pablo is more intelligent than his sister. So if we take a look at this example, the first thing you're going to notice is we are using the verb ser. So in this particular comparison, using the verb ser is really popular because remember, whenever we talk about someone's personality traits or physical traits, we always use the verb ser. So Pablo es. In this case, we want to say he's more intelligent. So we say Pablo es más. And again, because we're talking about intelligence, intelligence is a personality trait. Okay, so we use the verb ser. So Pablo es más inteligente. We then say que, so more intelligent than or que. And then we finish off the sentence by using what we're comparing Pablo's intelligence to. In this case, we're comparing his intelligence to his sister's. So Pablo es más inteligente que su hermana. Great job, everyone. Let's take a look at another example. So let's say, for example, I want to express that I am physically bigger than another person. So in this example, soy más grande que mi hermano. Soy más grande que mi hermano. I am bigger than my brother. So if we take a look at this example, what you'll first notice is, again, we're using the verb ser. Why is that? Because we're talking about my physical traits again. So soy más grande. We then use que, so I am bigger than. Then we finish off the sentence or the comparison by using whoever it is we're talking about. In this example, it's my brother, mi hermano. So soy más grande que mi hermano. Now, if we take a closer look at this example, one confusing thing that you might notice is that if we translate this literally, word for word, over into English, what we're basically saying is, I am more bigger than my brother. Now, obviously, that doesn't make sense if you translate it word for word over into English, but we're basically saying, I am bigger than my brother. But in Spanish, it is worded a little differently. So again, that's just one of the differences between the two languages. Awesome. So I think you're starting to get it now, but let's go for a few more examples just to make sure. Next example. Mi amigo es más alto que yo. Mi amigo es más alto que yo. My friend is taller than I am. So first of all, again, we're talking about someone's height. So again, we have to use the verb ser. So mi amigo es más alto. So he is taller que yo, than me. Awesome work, everyone. So far, we've gone through some comparisons using the verb ser, but now the question is, can we make comparisons using different verbs? Absolutely. For example, what's the verb we use when we're talking about having possessions? You guessed it, we use the verb tener. So let's go through a few examples using the verb tener. And don't forget, if you are getting any value from these videos, please consider liking the video and subscribing if you haven't already. Some examples using the verb tener. First up, mi hijo tiene menos juguetes que su mejor amigo. Mi hijo tiene menos juguetes que su mejor amigo. So my son has less toys than his best friend. So again, we're talking about toys or possessions, so we have to use the verb tener in this particular comparison. So mi hijo tiene, we're saying he has less, so we use menos, juguetes, que, than his best friend, que su mejor amigo. Good job. Let's go for another example. This time, tengo más libros que mi pareja. So, tengo más libros que mi pareja. So, I have more books than my partner. Again, we're talking about having books or having possessions. So we have to use tener. So tengo, yo tengo, más, so I have more books, libros, que mi pareja. So we finish off the comparison, comparing it to my partner. So we say que mi pareja. Buen trabajo, chicos. Now what we're going to do is finish off with some exercises. So I want you to translate these English comparisons for me over into Spanish. El número uno. I am younger than my friends. So I am younger than my friends. How would you say that in Spanish? This time you'd say, soy más joven que mis amigos. Soy más joven que mis amigos. Great, so we're talking about a personality trait or personal trait about myself. So we have to use the verb ser. So soy más joven. So I am more younger. Again, doesn't make sense in English if we translate it literally. But what we're saying is I am younger than my friends. Soy más joven que mis amigos. Next up, my friend has more money than me. So my friend has more money than me. This time you'd say, mi amigo tiene más dinero que yo. So, mi amigo tiene más dinero que yo. Cool, so this time we're using the verb tener. Why is that? The reason is because we're talking about a possession, or in this case, we're talking about money. So we have to use the verb tener. So, mi amigo tiene más dinero que yo. All right, let's go another one. I am shorter than you. So, I am shorter than you. Good job. You would say, soy más bajo que tú. So, soy más bajo que tú. So, I am shorter than you. Great job. So again, we're talking about a physical trait about someone, or in this case, how short someone is. So I have to say soy. So I have to use the verb ser. Soy más bajo que tú. Excellent work. I hope that makes sense. Now you know what to do. Have a bit of a practice with these ones, and then I want you to go out there and start putting these into practice in your Spanish conversations. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to write a comment in the comment section below. And if I can help with anything else, let me know. But apart from that, I'll see you in the next one. Hasta pronto.